Today in literacy, we're going to be writing our balanced arguments. And I know you've been working hard at planning out an argument and thinking of 3 points for, 3 points against. So I'm just going to talk you through a plan that I've done just very quickly before I model for you how I want you to write this. So for my particular one, I have a title here. Now, not far from where I live near a wood called Spa Wood. And behind there's some waste ground. There used to be a business on there and it's just waste ground now, and they're thinking about building a car park on there. So I've taken that as my title. Should they build a car park on the land at Spa Wood? So my title is a question because that's the question I'm going to be arguing for and against. Here are my notes for the introduction. I'm going to explain that it's been a waste ground for months. I'm going to say that they should do something with it. It's very unattractive. And I'm going to finish off with a question. Is a car park the answer? Because there's all sorts of other things that they could do with this land. So I've got my points for and against here. So my first one is, and these are just my notes, 12,000 cars park in Huddersfield Town Centre every day, and it's not enough spaces for shoppers. Now, I've got a statistic in there, what we call facts and figures. I don't know if that's true or not. It doesn't really matter, but it makes my article sound good. So that's a point for. A point against that is, well, they could use the multi-storey car parks. They could use the supermarket car parks. We don't need another car park, and there are always empty spaces in all the other car parks in town, so we do have enough space. So that's my first one. My second one is, well, it will encourage more people into the town and they'll bring more money. And money can be invested in shopping centres, leisure activities and things like that. So more money will be good for the town. But on the other hand, more cars encouraged into the town will mean more pollution, more traffic problems and more accidents on the road. I could put some statistics in there as well about the number of people that are involved in car accidents, just to give my argument a bit more power. And my last point is, the land doesn't need much money spending on it. It's just a flat piece of land, just a new layer of concrete, and so it doesn't need a lot of money to change it into a car park, and it will make a lot of money with charging people to park there. And my point against that is, well, we should build something else like a leisure centre, a cinema, a bowling alley, something like that. And that will bring in money, not through car parking charges, but bring in money through putting something on that land that people would like to do. And we need to make that area more attractive, not just a piece of land with lots of cars parked on it. So that is my plan. And so now I need to write my balanced argument. So I'm going to model for you how to do the first part. I'm going to write an introduction and I'm going to write the first part for and against, and then I'm going to leave you to do the rest. So my title, I'm going to write my title across the top, which is the question, should they build a car park on the land at Spa Wood? So you're going to write your title, and then I need my introduction. So I would write something like this. I need to set the scene for my readers. I wonder if you can spot some of the writing skills that you have been learning about over the last couple of weeks in this introduction. Okay, so that's my introduction. Let's just have a look at it before you have a go at yours. Behind a line of trees in Huddersfield town centre called Spa Wood, there is a large, unattractive patch of ground which has been abandoned for months. Many people would like to turn it into a car park, but is that the answer? So I've set up my introduction, I've explained what it's going to be about, and I've finished with a question. Now, did you spot some of the cohesive writing devices that we learnt last week? Well, I have got a fronted adverbial behind a line of trees in Huddersfield town centre called Spa Wood, comma, I've got a fronted adverbial. I've also got an expanded noun phrase. We looked at those earlier this week. There is a large, unattractive patch of ground. And I've got a relative clause, comma, which has been abandoned for months. So I'm getting my writing skills in there as well. So that's an example of the introduction. So what I'd like you to do is pause this video and write out your introduction. Okay. Now that you've written your introduction and you've got it set up, you've got your question, maybe you've got some writing skills in there, maybe you're going to leave your writing skills to later on. I'm going to write the first section now. So my points for, and I'm going to remember those linking phrases that I've learned, those connecting phrases. And I'm going to start with, some people would argue that a new car park is really important because, and this is where I'm going to put my statistic that I put in my plan, 12,000 cars come to Huddersfield every day and there are not enough places for them to park. Okay, so that's my first point of view, my first argument. But I've got somebody who would argue against that. I started off this particular point in my argument with some people would argue. So I'm going to use its partner. Other people would say. So there I am using my connecting phrases for this argument. Other people would say that there is already plenty of parking space available, such as supermarkets and multi-storey car parks, and there are always spaces available in them. Okay, so what I've shown you there is the introduction and the first point, and I've done for and against in my first point. And I've used my phrases. Some people would argue, other people would say. Okay, I might use something different in the second one. So that's how I want you to write your first point. If we were to move on to the next one, I might start it off like this. Secondly, comma, it could be said that more people would come into the town and spend more money. And then I'm going to write about my second point. But I'm not going to do that because I'm going to let you write your own. So I've modelled for you the introduction and the first point, for and against. I've made sure that all my place names, my proper nouns have got capital letters. That's very important. My punctuation is correct. I've got some statistics in there, and I've got those connecting phrases which show the cohesion in my writing. It's very important that you use those connecting phrases that we looked at earlier in the week. So that's a model for you. Off you go now, and you write your balanced argument.